All right, part three in the series about taking down the statues. Um, in talking about where these statues came from, most of them, I believe 99% of them, or 98 point whatever percent of them, were created, paid for, funded, and put in place by private groups that raised money to erect these memorials and statues, and then donated or given to the cities or states to take care of. They're expensive. There was a point in time where I made the argument, especially with the statue there in Charlottesville, that it would cost a tremendous amount of money to remove that. And we should not be using taxpayer dollars to tear down these statues to placate a handful of people. Because it does seem like there are less people that want them torn down than there are people that either want them to stay or are indifferent. And honestly, I was indifferent. The statues don't necessarily bother me. I just didn't think we should be using government money to get rid of them. With a little bit of research, I actually found out that it costs more to maintain these statues than it does to remove them. So, in the eyes of a taxpayer, and not wanting to waste taxpayer money, should we be paying to clean these statues? And should people that are adamantly against them have their tax money spent to maintain them, to polish them and pressure wash them and clean up any vandalism that might happen to them? No, we shouldn't. If you think about any other argument, oh, I don't want my tax dollars being used to fund abortion. Oh, I don't want my tax dollars being used to go to third world countries. I don't want my tax dollars going to repair this country or that country. I don't want my tax dollars going here. Well, if that's your argument for anything, if you've ever said that you don't want your tax dollars going towards something you disagree with, then you have to recognize the validity of the argument of people saying, I don't want my tax dollars used to maintain these statues that I don't agree with and I don't think that we should have. Again, nowhere else in the world do we have statues for the people on the losing side of history. Why do we do it with the Confederate generals? There's a lot that people don't understand about the Civil War and a lot of the characters within it. I have studied this extensively, and a lot of things you can find conflicting information for. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is how we ended up with Arlington National Cemetery. Arlington National Cemetery is on General Robert E. Lee's farm in Arlington, Virginia. A lot of people didn't know that. Do you know why it's there? Because that was Abraham Lincoln's way of thumbing his nose at General Robert E. Lee. They had a tremendous amount of soldiers that had died, and an aide asked Lincoln, what do we do with all of these bodies? And Lincoln literally said, bury them on Lee's farm so that he has to see them. It was his way of going, look, this is your doing. This is blood on your hands. You're going to be reminded of this forever, because had you have fought for us like we wanted you to and expected you to, these soldiers might not be dead. Arlington is a very humbling place to visit and experience. A lot of our battlefields, well, I shouldn't say a lot. I have not visited all of them. The ones I have visited, it is a very humbling, very sober experience. And I do recommend it to everyone. But I really do want you guys to also think about and consider, should we have statues or memorials in public spaces that celebrate or acknowledge people that exclude other people. Let's touch on that a little bit more in video 4.